Hey, good morning. This is Matt Hirsch, president of Primus Builders, here with my good friend Tim Taylor, who leads our mechanical engineering department here within Primus Design Services. We're going to come to you and have a little conversation about a really special market we've been doing work in for many years now called medical device sterilization. And many of you probably don't know what that is. And we're here to raise some awareness as to what the market is and share with you what Primus has been doing for several decades, honestly, in terms of our team experience right now, and explore some of the challenges in the landscape right now, and really just raise some awareness to you all about what we can do as a service provider and what we're doing to help our customers expand their businesses and meet business challenges. So thanks for being here today, Tim.
Thanks for having me in, Matt.
Yeah. So, Tim, why don't you describe to the audience a little bit, or me, just like if someone said, what is medical device sterilization? What does it mean to Tim?
What does it pop into my head?
Yeah.
Every medical component that gets either inserted into the human body or gets used on open wounds or that kind of thing has to be sterilized so that the natural biological functions of rejecting things doesn't occur. And so when I think of medical device sterilization, I think of things like catheters, syringes, needles. I think of things like latex gloves. And some of these things are intrusive to the human body. Some things aren't. And regardless of whether they are or aren't, these things that come in contact with the human body need to be sterilized and for the maximum safety of the patient. Yeah. So that's what I think of.
Awesome. Yeah. And I know across our journey too, we're seeing some of these technologies also applied to things outside medical device sterilization, even into food products and other things that, whether it be extending shelf life, or it's all about controlling bacteria growth or microbials on the products. So that way things are either safer to eat, extended shelf life, or safe to put in your body or use in surgery. So when did you work on your first medical device sterilization project?
My first medical device sterilization project was truly medical device sterilization, and I want to say it was catheters or syringes, was for a company called C.R. Bard in Covington, Georgia. I think C.R. Bard had their main home presence here in Georgia, and they were in the market to build a medical device sterilization facility that based around using ethylene oxide to clean up pathogens. Yeah. So that was, to answer your question, back in the early 90s, I believe, if my memory serves right. And my role was to make sure that all the utility infrastructure was appropriate for the technology of the day, which was ETO.
Yeah. Now, I know when I joined the company in 2007, I think Primus was out there doing the expansion to that facility, and it was a unique process that I had never seen before. First off, I know you mentioned ETO. People are probably like, what's ETO? Do you want to describe what ETO is and maybe go through, if I'm a manufacturer of goods, what are the multiple different ways that they sterilize their products?
Yeah, ETO's scientific name is ethylene oxide. I don't know what the exact chemical makeup is, but it's ethylene oxide. And ethylene oxide has been proven to be a killer of pathogens that adhere themselves to products, medical products, the products of all varieties. And a certain concentration of ETO, given a certain vacuum level and environmental temperature level, a certain percentage of ETO has been proven to be very effective on killing items that can make us sick. So you can put a pallet of product, medical device products, say a pallet of syringes, into an environmental chamber, control the environmental pressure and temperature, introduce ethylene oxide, and the ethylene oxide permeates the packaging, it permeates the cardboard, it permeates the pallet whole makeup, and it kills those things that can make us sick. It comes out on the other side, and it's free and clear of pathogens.
Yeah, always. I remember walking that facility for the first time, and the gentleman that was running the factory walked us through the process. And, I never knew. when you have that white package that gets ripped open in the surgery room, that whatever is in there went in not sterile and went through one of these types of facilities. That gas has got smaller molecules than the membranes in the plastic, and it goes in and it makes everything sterile, and then they evacuate it out, and voila, everything inside's clean and good to go. So,
and some of that, like the evacuating of the residual gas and the aeration of the residual ethylene oxide gas, is where our expertise really shines. Yeah. We know the appropriate volumetric rates to flush and aerate ethylene oxide. We know what vacuum levels are required. We know what temperature levels are required. We know exactly how much air to move to keep the percentage of ethylene oxide from being a dangerous proposition to the human body.
Yeah. So ethylene oxide, that was a great explanation for our audience here. What other types of technologies being used in the industry for sterilization?
There's some newer technologies being developed right now, but some of the more tried and true include E-beam technology, gamma radiation, and X-ray technology. E-beam and X-ray being very similar to each other, but they can be chosen one over the other depending on what the product is you're trying to sterilize, how fast you're trying to sterilize it, what the density of those products are. Gamma radiation is a little bit different in that you're relying on a half-life of cobalt-60 to degrade, and as it degrades, it gives off protons, and these protons kill these pathogens. The exact construction in terms of width of concrete walls and depth of concrete walls and offsetting of pipes and offsetting of ducts throughout these, what we call bunkers, is very important. And Primus has developed with a number of its preferred customers or clients what the preferred rates of product going through the bunkers, how deep the bunker is, how wide the bunker is, how the airflow is managed in the bunkers.
Yeah, I know it's great. I know the conversations we've sat in our customers, a lot of time we get engaged very early on, and some of these customers are saying, hey, I've got a new product line that was under R&D and got approved. It was interesting for me to find out that when a medical device gets approved in the industry, it's not only based on its performance as its function, but tied to it is the sterilization method in which is to be used for that particular product. So it's very critical for our customers to explore from a very high level, but very detailed level as well, what are those overall impacts going to be in terms of cost of getting the good to the customer, reliability, working within a network of existing third-party sterilization groups throughout the country, or even sometimes vetting whether they should be building their own sterilization facility to meet the demands of whether that's a product line they've had in the marketplace for a long time or a new product that they're launching. It's been interesting. I know you and I have been involved in several engagements with customers where it's not all about, okay, how do we build the facility, but how do we actually plan and vet and determine those economic or financial, thresholds when it comes to launching a product line or meeting strategic forecasts on where their business is going. And I know I've heard repeatedly from our customers that when they're able to come to Primus, because we have vast knowledge of all of those types of sterilization, we can help them navigate which one fits best for them on where their business is going. When we're engaging with one manufacturer, we've built for several other third-party providers around the country. They may engage us to talk to them about, hey, what if I do an expansion with this third-party provider with a long-term commitment over here? I know that's been a lot of compliments from our customers that we get engaged. We wanted to share that experience with you all, that it's not all about just building the facility. It's about proper planning. Tim, when we do the preliminary design in these facilities, what do you think is, I see it as 2 or 3 unit processes, some being not so complicated, but some being very complicated. But what do you think are the key factors to success? And when a client comes and tells you, hey, I want to sterilize this facility in this much, where do you start?
To a large extent, the customers we have are so mature in their development of the processes that suit them they come in to us with an idea of what they want to do to begin with. Where Primus has an advantage over other service providers is that we have a broad experience on the variety of different types of medical sterilization methodologies that there are. So it's not like we invent the methodology to sterilize to begin with. It's that we are familiar with all the variety of different methodologies that there are out there. So we have a legs up on the creation of a bunker, for example. We have a legs up on working with ETO chamber providers, for example. We have a network of vendors and manufacturers representatives that can provide vacuum pumps, extraction fans, and a variety of different technological resources that we can apply to what the customer comes in as a kind of a already decided upon technology. He knows that we know that if he goes down that road, that we have the experience to back him up.
Yeah. No, that's absolutely makes sense. It's last few opportunities we have, customer comes in, says, hey, we've done our preliminary vetting. We think ETO is best for here. E-beam's best for this operation. Our experience to be able to help them say, okay, well, what size E-beam are we using? Immediately put together basically a material flow diagram, preliminary process narrative. It's really like any manufacturing sector, but when you put all those pieces together, turning the concept into a conceptual budget that can be penciled with a high confidence level is where I think we add a lot of value. And that's from the experience of doing these types of facilities without doing complete design on the very complex mechanical and engineering systems that go into these buildings. We can help guide into here's a baseline for these costs that are going to need to happen, and then also identify unique opportunities to either save costs from a different approach. I think also recently, a lot of people, the number one priority is really to focus on sterilization. Obviously, that's objective number one. That's a must-have. But recently, we've been seeing, like any other industry, a heightened focus on how can I reduce energy, how can I reduce overall labor associated to this value add process? Because anytime you add value through some new process to something, you're increasing the cost of goods. So it's been fun to engage our solutions group internally. Essentially, these are a warehouse with a very technical scientific process going on, but you still need to receive goods. You need to make sure that you're efficiently handling the goods and not touching things 2 or 3 times and minimize that. And it's been fun to really, I think, work with our clients on how to improve something that used to be, we'll just use a fork truck and offload it and put it in a rack and take it out and put it back in the rack and load it to the truck again and have 10 people touching all these boxes in between. Customers are really saying, how can I optimize the warehouse component of these facilities as well?
Very good points. Our clients come to us, and like you described, these unit processes, they're linked together, and they're linked together with specialty knowledge of how to make a fork truck more like a conveyor, how to make a conveyor more like an automated conveyor, how to make reading and weighing and detecting for metals, and how to do all those individual unit processes separately, but part of the big program. So that's what our clients can enjoy about our participation, is our familiarity with all those variety of different steps.
Again, to go back to our solutions group, we have a purpose-built office in Charlotte, North Carolina, with people with the experience and ability to receive raw data, do data analytics, come up with equipment selections, and basically create various levels of automation to apply to these facilities, whether it be full automatic storage retrieval systems, whether it be just simple conveyor systems, or anything in between, automatic palletizing and all of those components. That is the wave of the future and where things are going, and we've built a team to help do that. There's very few groups in the country. First and foremost, I believe Primus is one of the few that's built all of the major types of sterilization facilities. We have in-house design with your expertise in the complex mechanical systems, and then we are logistics experts. So, having the ability to have all of that under one roof has been constant feedback from our customers. Wow, this is great. We have an idea. We're able to go to market a lot quicker with with a higher confidence level in cost and controlling schedule than working with several other disjointed groups. Recently attended a large medical device sterilization conference. There's a lot of regulatory compliance changes in the marketplace right now. And as a result, Primus has listened to our customers and done a couple of things. First and foremost, we had an opportunity out west where we were designing an ETO facility, and a lot of regulatory things came up and so forth. And we were about 60 or 80% done with design, and the client says, you know what, this is no longer going to be an e-beam facility. We're going to take it to, ETO facility, and we're going to take it to an e-beam facility. You want to walk me through like what that experience was like? Because a lot of teams would be like, oh, we just did all this work, let's throw it in the trash. And I think my experience outside looking in on what our team did was, because of our experience in multiple, we were able to retool that facility very quickly and not really miss a big beat for the customer.
Yes, there have been some regulatory requirements of late, and it became prominent in the ETO industry that perhaps there was runaway pollution from facilities like this, and rogue environmental upsets that ETO can create. And so in the United States of late, there's been a more heightened awareness of the discharge of ETO into the atmosphere. So technologies are being created right now to deal with that situation. In the particular instance that you're talking about out west, we had done a complete and total design of an ETO facility, and it did turn out that the regulations on the air permitting were getting onerous for us and for the project. So the customer decided that they could go build in Mexico. So we translated basically all of our drawings and specifications into nationalizing to doing it in Mexico. And the customer went ahead and built that facility and are building that facility in Mexico. So we're still thoroughly involved with the creation of that as a project. What that did for us was it heightened our relationship with this particular customer, and we became hand in glove with this customer to our knowledge of the various different types of medical device sterilization. So it translated very easily for them into reusing the site that was originally planned for ETO for an e-beam facility. And what we did was we didn't really convert the facility. We actually created a new facility on the same site that was based on the e-beam technology. Yeah. So that prime example of how the depth on our bench provides for a good partnership in medical device sterilization.
Yeah. And I know that was a large journey and commitment that Primus made as well, right? We had several customers. Obviously, things change year over year in terms of relationships of manufacturing on the border states of the United States, right?
Right.
A lot of things are manufactured in northern Mexico. A lot of things are manufactured vice versa or received and processed that come in from Mexico on the U.S. side of the border. Primus recognized that, and 2 years ago started the journey, and we've established our Primus MXB organization, a solely owned subsidiary, fully operational in Mexico. And the desire there is, we don't chase projects. We work with customers. We listen to our customers, and they had a need. They didn't want to go take all of this knowledge and comfort level they had working with Primus in the United States. They said, hey, we want you to go to Mexico for us, and we listened and have established that and are currently executing 2 very successful projects in northern Mexico right now. So that's what our customers were really wanting to do. They wanted to have the experience with their established design and construction partners here in the United States and not have to feel like anything changed going with manufacturing in the northern parts of Mexico right now. So excited about how that's going, and that first facility we're talking about is coming online here just in a couple of months. So
yeah, and we got the opportunity, and the client got the opportunity to learn more about Primus, and we got an opportunity to learn more about them. And it was an easy transition from ETO to E-beam in that particular instance, because the client became very familiar with and very comfortable with our program management capabilities, our ability to respond when it comes to pre-construction, estimating, planning, and very comfortable too with our method of reporting to them on a both fiscal and technical level.
Yeah. And I think just to pile on a little bit to that trend right now, like the regulatory environment right now is really just raising the heightened awareness on increasing documentation and control. There are some new technologies coming out related to ETO. We've seen a tremendous surge right now of clients saying, hey, I got a good operational facility. It's time to upgrade it a little bit to conform with some of these new regulations and just modernize it a little bit. And we offer those services for them too, to be able to go in, sit with them, work with their engineering departments, understand their goals, do modifications, add new reclaim systems to the facilities, whether it be air scrubbers, enhanced controls, and so forth. So because we self-perform some work, we, across the entire country, we're not just focusing on work here in the Southeast. We're trying to support our customers across North America right now. And so we see a good mix of engagement. Customers
Yes, we do.
wanting to go upgrade facilities, whether they want to just do enhanced controls or those things I talked about, adding additional capacity to those facilities, or looking at new construction facilities, whether it be in the United States or northern Mexico. So it's a market that I feel that we're very committed to. There's a bright future for this market with our growing population, enhancements in this industry, as well as, I would say, some aging assets too, and needing to be modernized right now. So, I'm excited, and we continue to have the staff under your leadership here from a technical capacity in our mechanical and engineering and complex systems associated to that. And it just trickles down to our architectural and structural departments, as well as our men and women in our execution teams that know how to plan, schedule, and deliver these projects, on budget and on time. And it's a fun market.
We're cranking one up right now and getting ready to open her up. So it's like you said, it's a lot of fun.
Well, if anyone out there has a need for medical device sterilization, Primus is here to help you and help you navigate any stage of project that you're in right now, whether you're conceptualizing one, whether you need some concepts put together, or whether you're really set on it, need to go to detailed engineering and execution, or even on the back end in terms of going and upgrading facilities, doing expansions, or just even overall, like those upgrades we talked about. We're here to help. We understand the technology and have the team to do it, and excited to chat. So please reach out to us.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah, thank you, Tim. Great being here today. Thanks for your time.
Thank you.